7 years, no president was willing to do what I'm doing, and they should have done it a long time ago. It would have been a lot easier. There's no president that wanted to do it, and yet every president knew. I've spoken to a certain president, who I like, actually, a past president, former president. He said, I wish I did it. I wish I did, but they didn't do it. I'm doing it, yeah.
Which president?
I can't tell you that. I don't want to embarrass him. It would be very bad for his career, even though he's got no career left. Go ahead, please.
You mentioned
Donald Trump's health is collapsing before our eyes. How much longer is this going to last? As I previously reported, Donald Trump's last physical was in October of 2025, a semi-annual physical. Before that, it was April of 2025. Thus, the annual physical should be this month. But Donald Trump has not announced it. He seems to be concealing when his physical is going to be. Now, what Donald Trump did do, though, yesterday during this really bizarre press conference that was supposed to be about lowering prescription drug prices, which we all know is actually not happening. Drug prices are far higher. Donald Trump fell asleep, basically passed out during this press conference in the Oval Office. Let me show you what it looked like as he passed out. Then he kind of woke up and he was like disoriented where he was, and then he fell back to sleep. He was sleeping for most of this press conference, and it was really just a disturbing sight to watch, just to see the deterioration of his physical and mental health before our eyes just get so utterly bad. Here, play this clip.
Under Secretary Lutnick's leadership and from the U.S. Trade Representative's office under the leadership of Ambassador Greer, we negotiated a landmark agreement with the government of the United Kingdom in which they agreed to increase significantly the amount that they spend on branded pharmaceuticals for the first time in 26 years. That work continues with other countries. And third, we will continue our work with our partners in Congress to codify the principles that underpin these most favored nation deals.
Now, you'll also recall at one of the last press conferences Donald Trump held as well, he brought a group of young girls in the press conference, and then he fell asleep. And it seemed that he either passed gas while he was falling asleep, or he just had a stench that was emanating from him that disgusted the little girls who were in the Oval Office. But yet again, falling asleep. Here, play this clip.
So hard on this. Peter Welsh, it is a bipartisan issue, and understanding where we are in this country and how important the health of certainly our children are is so important.
And you can just see this photo over here. It's just multiple press conferences and cabinet meetings where Donald Trump falls asleep for basically the entire event. And as I said, it's very disturbing to watch, and just to see this rapid deterioration. Also, during yesterday's press conference, the feed cut out. I talked about this yesterday, and when the feed cut out from the press conference after Donald Trump was sleeping, he woke back up and he said, I could use a shit. I mean, that's how he talks in the Oval Office. I mean, the level of disinhibition, just saying that he has to defecate after jolting awake and sleeping for most of this press conference. And again, I mean, this stuff is on camera. It's on audio here. Play this clip. I mean, if you even remember at the very beginning of Donald Trump's term before he was sworn in, remember he went to the Notre Dame Cathedral, that opening, and just nobody even wanted to be around him. And there were some people who were saying, they're grossed out about him. This was in 2024. This was December of 2024. There were people saying no one wanted to be around him. Others were saying that it was also the odor, that he just actually smelled horribly. But whatever it was, no one wanted to be around him. Just to remind you of what went down here, play this clip. And then yesterday, we continued to see the disinhibition. And you see this over and over again. Disinhibition is something that you see in dementia or Alzheimer's patients. The lashing out, the cursing. Sometimes you see disinhibition in the form of SE, over-sexualization, and it happens in many, many forms. If you had someone with dementia in your life, disinhibition, Alzheimer's, disinhibition, and so here Donald Trump's being asked a very basic question about, well, what do you say to Americans who want to know how much longer this war is going to be, right? A pretty basic question. What does Donald Trump do? He lashes out at the reporter. You know, the question was a very objectively fair question. And Donald Trump's like, you're a disgrace, disinhibition. You add up all of these symptoms, and I'm giving you my opinion, of course, as protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. But you tell me what you think. I believe that's disinhibition right here. Let's play this clip.
Mr. President, the American public, what do you say to the American people who question how much longer this will take? Obviously, you know that they are having
You're such a disgrace. Did you hear what I just said? Vietnam. How many years was Vietnam?
I understand, sir, but
how many years was Vietnam?
Well,
I did my I took the country out militarily in the first 4 weeks. I took it out militarily. Now what we're doing is sitting back and seeing what deal. And if they don't want to make a deal, then I'll finish it up militarily with the other 25% of the targets. We've hit.
Then if you just look at Donald Trump's social media posts, you know, he'll make constant posts where anyone who's black he refers to as low IQ. That's just not even a dog whistle. That's just like the racist remarks that he made. So, you know, he said low IQ, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Supreme Court Justice, and he's been saying that over and over again, prominent black political figures and leaders. And it's just post after post on that. Donald Trump also posting a completely fictitious and made up story that he rescued a bunch of little girls from Iran. He saved young, pretty girls. He said 8 of them, I saved them. They were so young and I saved these little girls. None of this is true. He didn't save 8 little girls. He's pretending that he called the Iranian leaders and they said they would release these little girls. It's just it never happened. This is not a true story. And I'll let you hear it here. Play this clip.
Or the military operation, whatever you want to call it. And they're coming to us. The problem they have is they are very disorganized right now. Well, now yesterday, and I was very pleased with this, 8 young women were going to be executed yesterday afternoon at 6 o'clock. And I asked them, call it a favor or call it just a moral request that they not be executed. And they came back with an answer that they won't be executed. They're going to release, it was protesting. 8 beautiful young women, very young women. And their pictures in the paper. And it's been a story for a little while. And I saw that and I said, let's see if we can save them. And it was very nice what happened. So they're not going to be, what they're doing is, as you know, they're releasing 4 of them very shortly, and they're going to keep 4 of them in jail for a period of 1 month and release them. So they won't be executed. Yeah,
so if you're asking...
And he kept on talking about Prince Harry and how excited he is about King Charles with getting a royal visit. I mean, while Americans are getting royally screwed, this is what Trump is talking about. Let's play this clip.
Visit, sir, which we're all very much looking forward to. Prince Harry today has said that he would like to see you do more to end the war in Ukraine. Do you think it's appropriate for a royal to make those comments ahead of the visit on Monday?
Prince Harry?
Yes, sir.
How's he doing? How's his wife? Please give her my regards, okay? No, I don't know. I know one thing. Prince Harry is not speaking for the UK. That's for sure. I think I'm speaking for the UK more than Prince Harry, but I appreciate his advice very much.
Would you have
great advice
to the dinner?
Let me interrupt for a minute to bring you this important news story. So we're seeing a major warning sign right now across the United States, and it's one that can impact everything from wildfire season to your grocery bill. New data shows that more than 61% of the lower 48 states is now in moderate to exceptional drought. That includes a staggering 97% in the Southeast and about 2-3 of the West. And here's the key point. This is the worst drought level for this time of year since tracking began in the year 2000. Gets even more alarming. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says that March was one of the driest months ever recorded, ranking behind only the Dust Bowl era of 1934. Out west, record heat and low snowpack mean less stored water heading into summer, fueling wildfire risk and worsening water shortages. Meanwhile, a separate weather pattern tied to the jet stream is keeping storms away from the south, deepening drought conditions from Texas all the way to the East Coast, and the numbers are staggering. Some areas would need over a foot of rain in a single month just to catch up. Eastern Texas nearly 19 in. This is what climate instability looks like in real time. And yet, we continue to see political leaders, especially Donald Trump and his administration, reject climate science and ignore the consequences that are already here. Thanks for watching. Now we need you to speak out. What are your thoughts on climate issues, on Trump's rejection of climate science, on our climate segments here at Midas Touch? I want to hear from you. I'll be reading your comments. Okay, Ben, back to you. And then the sycophants around him enable this clear cognitive and physical deterioration. And they, it reminds me of the stories that people told about Donald Trump's father, Fred, when Fred was dying of Alzheimer's. And the story goes that they basically created an office for Fred, the Trump did, and Fred would show up to a fake office and he would call a fake secretary and they would go through like a fake day. Oh, Fred, great job, Fred. You're doing really amazing, Fred. Very serious Alzheimer's runs in Donald Trump's family. Multiple family members had the worst type of Alzheimer's and they started getting it and really accelerating right around Donald Trump's age right now. Here are some of the enablers around him like RFK Jr. saying, the way Donald Trump calculates percentages is actually the right way to do it, right? I mean, of course, you could reduce something 600%. And it's like, no, you can't. And then Donald Trump's like, right. And again, the cognitive decline is really just very, very serious. Here, let's play this clip.
I was reminded when the president was speaking of a conversation that I had yesterday with one of the Democratic senators who was questioning me during a hearing, and she was ridiculing President Trump for his math. And she was saying, it's mathematically impossible to have a drug drop by 600% cost, which he had claimed. And I said, well, if the drug was $100 and it raised the price to $600, that would be a 600% rise. Well, if it drops from 600 to 100, that's a 600% savings. And the president used that mathematical device to illustrate the magnitude of the theft that has been happening against our country and our people, as he said.
And you have a grossly incompetent governor. You had a very good governor. He did a good job. All those companies that want to move into Virginia now, they want to move out and go to a different location. So that's my opinion. I believe it was a rigged election. Virginia's known for it. It was a rigged election. They had a lot of ballots, mail-in ballots. Anytime you have mail-in ballots, you have cheating. Did you have something?
Yes, you said that the U.S. will work with.
And then when he was confronted with the fact that the Russians, Putin was invited to the G20 summit in Miami in December, which would just be a horrible thing and it'll probably ruin the entire G20. Donald Trump was like, oh, no, he wasn't invited. He's coming, though. He's showing up. And so the reporter's like, what do you mean? What does that mean? He's invited. Oh, no, he's just going to be there. He's going to be there. What are you talking about? Play this clip right here.
The Russians are being invited to at least ministerial.
Well, you're saying being invited as opposed to coming. I don't know of the invitation, but if he were invited, I don't know.
Would you like to
hey, I'm of the opinion that you talk to everybody. I'm not one of these guys who say, oh, let's not talk to him. There's a war going on. Let's not talk to him. I like talking to everybody. If you're a smart person, if you have control over your emotions and all the other things you need control of, I'm somebody that believes in talking. I don't.
And then he would brag that he now has his name on medication. Here's what he said. Here, play this clip.
I didn't put the name. Bobby did and Oz did. It's true, actually. Remember I came in, I said, what's this?
You like the name?
It'll be better. It'll sell better. Would you help us? So I now have my name on medication. But
now I'll just remind you of other instances of Trump disinhibition, like when he would yell at reporters and call them piggy. Here, play this clip.
Sir, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, Venezuela,
or especially now in light of the fact that Donald Trump fired the Secretary of the Navy. Let's not forget that Donald Trump was going around saying that he doesn't like the way battleships are designed. He doesn't like stealth battleships. He doesn't like aircraft carriers. He likes battleships from World War I, and he wants our fleet to look like World War I ships. Here, play this clip.
Very powerful looking to me. So I said, what about bringing them back? They said, sir, it would be no good. Why do you say that? The new battleship that we have, which I've seen and helped design, I put a little more spirit in the hull, give me a little bit more hull. And I want that ship to look gorgeous, Forget about stealth. They say, oh, it's stealth. They design ugly equipment for stealth. Well, we're designing great looking equipment, also stealth. But I said, well, what about bringing them back? Sir, the new ships, the new battleships that we have almost very soon under construction, will be, listen to this, 100 times more powerful than the ships that we got to see in the 1940s.
And, lots of people attack former President Biden and Biden is slow and Biden this, Biden that. I'll just show you a clip of Biden right here from an interview that he just did with the Today Show. I'm just going to show you a very small portion of it. So here's someone fighting stage 4 cancer, 82, lifelong stutter. Take a look at this coherent answer as Jay Kindman explains here. Play this clip.
I'm not sure we're as divided as we portrayed. I'm sure there's anywhere from 15 to 30% of the people who are on the one end here. But I think the vast majority of people are coming around to conclude that, those things, so they don't even think about it directly, but the safeguards in the Constitution. I think people are beginning to realize they're sort of being trampled on right now. So I'm hopeful that people are going to begin to say, wait, we got to slow this thing up. We're coming to the 250th anniversary of the country, and for me, I think it reminds people that democracies depend on certain basic rules.
And I want to remind everybody that even back in 2024, I was trying to give everybody the heads up about what was going on. Remember, during Donald Trump's criminal trial, I would report how all of the sources are saying that Donald Trump is falling asleep, and he seems to be passing gas on people next to him. People can't be around him, and every oh, Ben, you're making this up. We're seeing it actually happen right now. I had very good sources in that courtroom. Let's play this clip. Returning to the court proceedings as well, Maggie Haberman reports that Donald Trump continued to fall asleep during the proceedings as well. And what I'm hearing from my sources as well is that, and I'm hearing from credible sources who know what's going on in the courtroom. And what I'm hearing is that, take it for what it's worth, but that Donald Trump is actually farting in the courtroom and that it's very stinky around him. It's a putrid odor in the courtroom. And that Trump's lawyers are repulsed by the scent and the smell. And I'm not just saying that to be oh, funny. Actually, we have good sources there. And I'm hearing it from actual credible people that as he's kind of falling asleep, he is actually passing gas and that his lawyers are really struggling with the smell. I think you'll actually start to hear more of that. But again, from real credible sources. Now, take it for what it's worth. They may be going off the record, on background and telling me that because of, it's the Midas touch and they think that we want to hear that. So you could judge it how you want to judge it. But real credible people who are there have saying that it's putrid around him, Also, the White House is taking pictures like this. What a small little tiny man to post photos of whatever the hell this is supposed to be. It's just very weird stuff, where Donald Trump, when foreign leaders show up, he sprays perfume at them. Here, play this clip.
This is men's fragrance. Yeah. This is it's the best fragrance. Come here, please.
I have no one here, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do is just take that, Joe, put it in, and then the other one is your wife. How many ones? You guys said never know, right?
And so we'll keep you updated as we learn more here, of course. But hit subscribe, help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching.